Oh, problem. We'll see if Antigravity is able to use the Chrome extension to see that there's a problem and edit the code by itself. Using the answer to this questionnaire, it is going to suggest me a lot of plots, and it should add a new chart. Here we go. Delivery delay impact, top 10 categories by negative reviews. It's been 30 minutes of chatting with data a little, but I did not write a single line of Python nor SQL, and for that I am very happy. Here's my Python code. It's empty for now. I've got this streamlit_app.py file, which only waits for Streamlit code. And if you don't know what Streamlit is, it's a Python library to quickly build data web applications, from dashboards to chatbots. I've got a whole YouTube channel about it. You can check it out. I've got a few requirements.txt of my favorite Python libraries, from Plotly to DuckDB. So Plotly for interactive charts, from bar charts to line charts that are easy to visualize in Streamlit. And then DuckDB, which enables you to store data in a local analytical database and query it with SQL queries. Now that this is out of the way, we can start the Gemini CLI. You can use whatever Claude Code, Codex, Open Code. You can use any of your favorite agentic command line tools here. I'm going to use Gemini, and then there you go. You get your Gemini. Tips for us getting started: ask questions, help, or be specific for the best results. I have no care about this advice. I'm going to say hello. Hello, I'm ready to help you build your OList database explorer. I see we have the raw CSV files in data row and an empty streamlit_app.py. Well, I love that it's already aware of what I want to build, but how does it know this? Well, in the context window of this Gemini session, there are already loaded one open file and 4 Gemini Markdown files that serves as context for the session. You can check, I think every command line tool has a similar command, but you can show what's inside the context loaded already, and there's a few Gemini Markdown files that are loaded in there. How do I usually create one? You have the init command that will parse the whole project to create your Gemini Markdown file, and this is what is going to be loaded inside your session histories. So I've got an overview of the project. It's a data analysis application with Streamlit and DuckDB. Here is the data. This is going to process the OList Brazilian e-commerce dataset, which is a Kaggle dataset that I've been wanting to try for a long time, but I never could because I am too lazy to write SQL queries between 9 different tables. It's very normalized. You got the orders, order items, products, sellers, reviews, and I was too lazy to do this. So now hopefully I can do it with the assistance of GenAI. It's already aware of it. Some more things inside this Gemini Markdown is the architecture and technology. So this is what you need to use. Some of the folder structure with what's the goal of every of those folders and scripts. For example, data, I like to split between the raw data with all of the CSV files from Kaggle. Here's the payment dataset, and my interim, which are going to contain all of my intermediary files, like the DuckDB table that we are going to create by processing the CSV files. It's going to be stored inside this interim. And there's a script folder. This is where I like to store my one-off disposable scripts, Python scripts or PowerShell scripts that GenAI is going to build for me, because GenAI is very good at building shell commands, PowerShell commands, and Python scripts, or even TypeScript scripts if you're into TypeScript. And there are a few other, how to install UV, how to run the Streamlit application if you want to run it, how to run helper scripts inside the scripts folder, and a few development conventions for how to use DuckDB, to always use pathlib, because otherwise it's using OS, and I don't like the OS library, I don't know why, for manipulating paths and files. I'm a pathlib guy. And a few code style, etc., etc. So this is preloaded, so your Gemini CLI or other is already aware of it. And now we can start working. The first thing is, those are all big CSV files. And honestly, I don't really want those rows to appear inside the conversation. I tend to think about the LLM's context window as RAM for a computer. When there's too much RAM, it begins to go cranky. So we're not going to stuff the RAM or the context window with useless rows. So I'm going to try and offload most of the processing inside Python scripts run from the scripts folder, which is here. For example, if I want to put all of those 9 CSV files into a DuckDB table, I am going to write a Python script, or I'm going to have GenAI write a Python script for me to process all of those files. So let's create a Python script to parse each file in data row. I should even say parse each CSV file in data row and store it as table in as a table in the DuckDB database in and then data interim, and then I'm going to call it allList DuckDB. I think this is the extension. I also tend to write my prompts as Markdown because it's trained on a lot of Markdown, so sometimes it's helpful for the LLM to know that because we're used to pointing file paths or code paths with this syntax of back quotes, is it back quotes? It's probably going to, understand that this is a folder path. Let's have it build our script. I will create a script named script ingest data, and there you go. Now, because there's an extension which is called, I think it's Gemini Companion. Because I've got Gemini CLI Companion installed, the code changes that happen in my Gemini command line in VS Code are going to appear in VS Code. So it makes it a little easier to see what's going to happen. I don't really care. I trust my Gemini free, so I am going to accept. I've created the ingestion scripts, and now it's asking me if he can run the scripts. I do like to quickly verify if the script is okay, so we're using pathlib, as said in Gemini MD. Check the path script there, project root, data row, data interim. That looks good. Make dir interim, it already exists. Connect to DuckDB with the DB path, allList DuckDB. Final CSV files. For each file, ingest and execute a create or replace table. It looks okay. I think it's good. So UV run Python script ingest underscore data is going to take all of the CSV files and store them inside data interim DuckDBs. And yeah, that looks good. That looks good. We got our DuckDB. You've got all of this connecting to database, ingesting the files inside DuckDB. This is going to stay in the conversation history. So Gemini will kind of remember that it did this before in case for future prompts. What should we do next? I'd like to know the structure and the types of columns inside those tables. And I do also want to store them in a file externally because I don't really want those types to take space inside the conversation history. So every time you think about, oh, maybe this may take storage inside the context window that I don't really need for now, but I do want to load it later, then I'm going to store it on my hard drive, and then I'm able to load it later in my future prompts. So let's maybe think about how I'm going to store the table schemas into, I think, reference. In reference, I'm going to store every of my table schemas and my relationships between the tables, which is defined in this beautiful image here. Wow. So let's, because I don't know, I'm going to ask Gemini pros and cons of JSON versus YAML versus TOML for storing table schemas into the ref folder for Gemini CLI. Okay, here is a comparison of JSON, YAML, and TOML. JSON, standard choice. Native and strict, no comments. YAML, human-friendly, there's comments, but requires external lib, etc., etc. I can ask Gemini for a recommendation. I recommend YAML for your ref folder schemas because often that has documentation, and then you can add comments because maybe, like for example, what's the description for this? I mean, you could also do it in JSON. So I'm going to store the schemas in JSON for now. So build and run DuckDB commands to export table schemas for each table as separate JSON files. I'm asking Gemini to build the command and then run the command. It's good at writing commands, shell commands, so don't be afraid of this. And because there's a conversation history, it still remembers the name of and the path to the DuckDB table. And if it doesn't remember, I'll just dump it in there afterwards. Converting coffee into code is definitely something I like to do. So let's create a script. Not a PowerShell today, it's a script. It depends on the time of the day. I am too lazy to read the code now, so I'm just going to trust it because it's probably easy code. So let's run it. And there you go, you've got your table schemas inside ref. We'll see later what it says, but now for each table name, customer's dataset, we've got the name, the type, nullable, and we should probably add a description later on. We could maybe even have Gemini add description. This is going to be for later. What would you like to do next? I would like to analyze the relationships between the tables to create a better data model. And we have our file, image file here, which stores the relationships. Now Gemini is multimodal, so it should be able to read this file. And so read, if I say at, I can select the file. This is going to load, I think, I've done 2 weeks of Gemini CLI, so I don't remember everything. I'm not an expert, but this should load the binary data of the image into the prompt for the analysis. So let's use it to extract table relationships and save it as JSON into, again, ref, and then maybe schema.json. It's going to parse, let's close this, it's going to parse this image and hopefully understand that this order ID is the key between order reviews and orders. Fingers crossed. How do I dezoom on this? Oh, there you go. Up, still mapping. Well, okay, still mapping. I'm going to have a drink. Yay. So let's check it out. Looks good. Yeah, looks good. So let's just allow once. And here's my schema.json. Yeah, I want to close this. We've got our relationships and some notes. Oh, we added some notes because maybe all this order customer data set. Oh, there's a plural and singular. So you see that Gemini was even able to tell me that, oh, this is not the same as this one because this one has an S and not this one. But, semantically speaking, they're the same. So I'm going to make an assumption. This is where LLM comes in handy for generating those little one-off scripts to transform data in one format to another. So I'm very happy. Would like me to? No, I don't care. So I think we're done. I think we're done enough. So now you know that whenever you want to build some SQL queries in Streamlit, you can load the schema from one of those reference files instead of trying to put the 10 first rows and more descriptions inside the context history. So now I think we're done with this task of processing data. I think we could even git push everything. Yeah, let's git push everything up, commit. And there you go. I like to regularly commit after each step, especially if I want to revert to the step before Gemini created a lot of code. There is a custom command to save the current state of the project before going into generating code, and then you can revert afterwards. There's a revert. Is it revert? I don't remember. I will find it for next time, okay? I think it's time to move into Streamlit. So our Streamlit here, I think we're going to compress. I don't exactly know how much space right now is taken inside my conversation history or my RAM. So there's a command compress that summarizes all of my previous actions from the conversation history to compress it or to reduce it, so you have more space available for future computations like building our Streamlit app. While it's compressing, I do want to start another tab with uv run Streamlit run. Streamlit run, normally you need to add the path to the file streamlit underscore app.py, but by default Streamlit run is going to load this file, so you don't need to actually put it. Close it and then come back to our Gemini. Gemini has finished compressing everything, so we gained a lot of space. And then let me close this. And yes, I need my Streamlit. Here's my Streamlit app. And I'm going to put the code on the left and my Streamlit app on the right, like this. Okay, here's my empty Streamlit code because my script right now is empty. And, you know, I want to edit the Streamlit app. Add a title to the app, for example. Let's see what this does. Fingers crossed, because in the context, there's still the info about the path to the file. You can see allow once. It added import Streamlit as st and st title of all this e-commerce analysis. And there you go. Here's the title. And then we can add a Brazilian flag to this title. Yes, you could tell me I could have just added the flag here, but I don't remember the shortcut. There it is. It's BR. Now I know the shortcuts. And there you go. And you know what? I am going to put this at the beginning. And this is better. And now, yes, I could, use my Streamlit methods because I know a lot of those components already by heart. If you don't really know Streamlit, don't hesitate to go on the documentation and look at the components that are available for you. Let me show you some components. Streamlit is very easy to pick up. You can have a full app with 50 lines of code, and it's very easy to debug. If your Gemini is generating a full Streamlit app, you're going to be able to read it, no problem. And I will show you in like 5-10 minutes. First, let's go to some text elements, a markdown, title, header, badge, caption. Let's use caption. Display text in small font. I like this. Add a caption to describe the list e-commerce. I don't context. So we have a small description in our Streamlit app that we're going to display to our future managers. I'm getting tired of always having Gemini ask me for permission to edit files, so now I'm going to go a little YOLO mode. So allow for this session, what this does is allows the editing tool, because Gemini acts with tools. So here it's using the edit file tool to edit the file, obviously for me. And I'm going to tell it, okay, you can just edit anytime you want to edit a file, just do it, don't ask for my permission. If it does strange things in editing, you can always use Git to go back to your previous state. You can always roll back your changes. And now exploring and analyzing the e-commerce dataset with Streamlit and DuckDB. That was not exactly what I wanted. I wanted a more business-like because we want to present this Streamlit app to our future CEO or CTO, especially if you're doing an interview. Strategic analysis. Yeah, okay, that was too much, but you know. So add a sidebar with a subheader configuration. And there you go. It should appear, and now you've got your subheader with a configuration. Yeah, happy. Okay. We got files to analyze. You know, we've got our data interim olist.db here that we want to analyze, so it's time to load it. Let's go back to our Gemini CLI. There is a component, select box, which enables you to list all of the tables and select one of the tables to display a preview of this table inside our app. So let's create selected table variable in the sidebar. I think I'm going to put it in the sidebar. List all tables from data ref. I think is it all list? But I think it is intelligent enough to find the correct file. If I say all list.db, I think it's going to look or remember the path to this file. I'm getting lazy, right? List all tables from all list.db inside a select box and store. Yeah, that's too much. Wait, list all tables from the deck.db inside a select box and display the selected table inside a data preview in the app or something. Yeah, data table preview. I wanted to say data frame, but we'll see if it understands this. There's a lot of code. I should read a bit. But that looks good. I think that looks, yeah, that sounds good. This if here is probably too much because there should not be any non-default value, so there should always be a selected table here. But it's okay, we'll leave it for now. I'm not doing a code review. Now we can study any data set and it's going to display the 100 first rows of the data set are going to be displayed. So I can go see my orders data set, and here is my orders data set. There's an order ID, customer ID, there's a status, delivered, purchase, approved. Yeah, there's a lot of data that we can analyze. Usually I do more analysis here. I try to build some KPIs on the top and some graphs before this table. But right now I'm in the mood of, because there's 9 tables to analyze, I'm in the mood to create almost one page per table. So we're going to tell Streamlit, let's build a multi-page Streamlit app and move this page into a default, let's say, data exploration page. Now, I want to show you something. I have MCP servers enabled. You may have seen here 2 MCP servers. I have Context 7 by default enabled. Context 7 is a website that parses the documentation of most of your favorite libraries on GitHub or not GitHub, and it enables LLMs or AI code editors to access and ask questions to what they parse from the documentation. So here there should be Streamlit. Streamlit should be enabled. There's 3 Streamlit libraries that were parsed from GitHub, GitHub documentation, and the actual website of the documentation. It was updated 2 months ago and 3 months ago, so there should be information about how to deal with multi-page apps. So I'm going to tell it to use Context 7 to find a Streamlit multi-page version 2 best practices. And let's see how it goes. Now, obviously, you didn't need to use the MCP server, but this is to show you that I was, for example, porting my landing page from static HTML to the next framework in Vue.js, but I didn't read all of the documentation because it took so much time. So I use Context 7 to parse the documentation. So now it's asking me, I will create a views directory and move the current content there, and then update to use ST navigation and ST page, which is actually the correct version 2 that I wanted to use. I didn't want to use views because I don't like this name, so I'm going to no suggest changes, the third option, and I'm going to tell it name the folder apps instead. And there it tells you I'm going to create a major app. Okay, it's I'm not a big fan of Gemini CLI in VS Code, so I think we're going to ditch this in a little few minutes. But there you go, you got your pages here. So we're going to put a page per axis of analysis of our data set, and it's all loaded inside our Streamlit app with an ST navigation. So we're very happy about it. Let's close this, and yeah, I think I am going to destroy this. Up, bye bye. Let's remove this. Let's keep our UV Streamlit run and remove our Gemini CLI. As you may have seen, I am never reading the code right now, so I might as well get rid of this and open an actual command line. Yes, we are never going to check the code editor again. Clear this, we open Gemini, and now we're ready to chat with data. Okay, let's go. Hello again. We've got pages. Let's create a new Streamlit page with title orders. Preview the orders table there. And here we've got in the navigation. Oh, yeah, there's only one page, so that's why there's only one link. Let's create a new page. Okay, fingers crossed that there's enough context in Gemini Markdown file that it understands that the orders table is in DuckDB, and that in ref there's the orders schema table if it wants to analyze it. So it's reading Streamlit app and app. Okay, it's reading ingest data to confirm the table names. And then, yeah, hello. Okay, I'm really getting into kind of vibe coding mode here. I'm not checking anything. Okay, it didn't understand use UV to run Python scripts. Okay, you can compile if you want. And normally, if all goes well, now I will find the orders tab here. Yay! Perfect. Applaud yourself. I'm still going to specify the schema of orders. Now that I actually want to do a deeper analysis of my orders table, I'm going to inject the actual schema for orders. So the orders dataset JSON. I don't know, what should we do? I think I want to know, because this is for executive, I know first things first. I want a lot of big number here. You know the ban? We call it ban for big number. We need some metric cards here. We need like 6 or 12 or 20. So let's say as the executive of this company, I want to see the drivers for frequent and expensive orders. Suggest 20 KPIs to add to the orders page, maybe at the top, to add at the top of the orders page, and then ask me to choose 6 to add as a row of metric cards, I think, side by side. And yeah, I think this, and we're probably going to get a total number of orders, how many orders were late, how many were not late. I don't think we have the price of the order here. So actually how expensive it is, I think should not appear because we're not joining the data yet. So here we go, total revenue. Do we have revenue here? I'm not sure. I should have asked. Only propose, how do you say propose? Only display KPIs that can be computed from the orders schema. I think, yeah, operational efficiency, I think there could work. Revenue doesn't work. Auto growth, I think this could work. New versus returning revenue, maybe. Wait, we'll see. There you go. 20 KPIs strictly from the orders table. Yeah, total orders, I think I want it. So let's type 1. And delivered order, cancellation, I think I want to see it. Cancellation, orders growth, wait, speed 7, average approval time. No, I'd like average shipping time. I think this is going to be important. On-time delivery, let's say 13. Late delivery, I like this. And then one last, peak order hour. I like it. Okay, so we chose 6 KPIs to display, and then fingers crossed it works. And there you go. Got total orders, cancellation rate, 9 days in average to ship. Oh, 16 peak hour order. Late delivery 8%. That's, yeah, that is not very good. Okay, so maybe we should try to plot things now. Now we've got our big numbers. I like to divide it into normally a filter at the top, then big number, then chart, then the data table preview. This is my favorite dashboard layout for executives. So let's use Plotly to visualize 3 charts side by side between KPIs and data preview. And then I am going to ask for what could we, I don't know, bar charts, number of orders per month, followed by cost, late delivery, peak hour, distribution of peak order hour, bar charts again, and then one last one, late deliveries, delivery rate. We can do delivery rate per month, and let's let it roll. Yeah, it does verify that Plotly is installed. Plotly is installed. Maybe this app is a little too small to display everything correctly. I suppose those are 6 columns. Oh, it does. So orders per month, we're getting an increase, so we're happy. Yeah, there's a big gap between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. Obviously, no one is ordering stuff in the morning, but it looks mostly stable. And then on-time delivery rate, it stays constant. I mean, we're at globally 96. We have a little dip on March 78. Maybe something happened here. I don't know what. But this is where you can, little by little, you can create another page and do a drill down here of this metric. Like for me, I do want to analyze some more pages, so we can create a new page to show. Let's try to join multiple tables together. That's okay. Create a new page to show, I think there are join of customer reviews per customer per product. I think there's per product. Relationship details are in, we never know. I like specifying it because the more repetitive you are, the better. But normally, I think there should be a new page, reviews analysis, with the reviews, orders, and customers. And now we can, I want to see a review score here. Let's build Plotly charts, new Plotly charts. I want bar charts of review score distribution, and then I don't know what, I want to see a scatter plot. There's too many bar charts here. What do we have? We have reviewed. Now that we have joined everything, do we have the price of things? We have review, we have a product. We don't have a price. Is there a price somewhere else? Maybe there's a price somewhere else. We'll see if it's able. wait, scatter plot of average price versus score per product or category. I don't know. Let's say category. Maybe I think there's a category, right? Yeah, product category. Product category, let's say. Is there a price somewhere? I need to check. Or it's going to tell me if there's no price. We'll see. We'll see if it hallucinates. No, let's check if there's a price. Let's do things properly. Or we can even ask him, her, it. Okay, apparently there's a price somewhere. I'm going to ask, where does the price column come from? Yeah, just to be on the safe side. Because I don't remember seeing a price of order or product. There is a price, general info. There's price, order items. So this preview table is apparently not complete. So show the full table preview with the all columns from all joined tables. Why am I missing prices here when there's apparently a price that I want to see? Okay, wait, so now, okay, now there's everything. Yay. And now you can actually do more interesting analysis. What do I kind of want to do now? Oh yeah, log here, my x-axis. Change the x-axis of scatter plot into log, because there's way too much like disparity, but the distribution is a little too, I don't know how to say this in English, you know. That's better, that looks better. And then let's put it full screen. And yeah, so we've got here, move is escritorio, is kind of expensive and it always get bad scores. Whereas here, oh, café portates, yeah, I think here, you know, the more expensive and better score, the better we are. But there's not a lot of, I think the size here is probably, oh, how much reviews there were. So there's not a lot of them. So we want big dots here. So we maybe slowly would want to move those dots like on the top right here. This is how I use Gemini CLI after 2 weeks. I think this is 2 weeks of experience. But you know, I actually didn't start with Gemini CLI. What got me into agentic command line assistance is Antigravity. Antigravity is another Google IDE, but with a more of an agentic coding capabilities. We built this dashboard like step by step. We said I wanted to check the data preview, select those columns. We did ask for KPI suggestions, but we also chose the KPIs. I wonder if we actually can generate this full dashboard in one go. So this is my new goal. Okay, here's our anti-gravity. We've got the same code from before. So we're going to keep the data here, this DuckDB. We're going to keep the processing, but we are going to delete the content of this Streamlit app and those apps here. Those pages, we're going to delete everything. So now our Streamlit app is back to 0. And now I wonder if we're able to write a prompt that enables anti-gravity to regenerate a very similar dashboard. So on the right of anti-gravity, you've got an agent manager. And on the side of the agent manager, you can choose to chat with the code with the fast mode, or plan more complex code across multiple files in the planning mode. So for the first question, I kind of like using a process that is called RPI for research, plan, and implement. In the research phase, I want to explore the repo to gather all of the context and all of the technical details of the project. And then sometimes I even ask, what do you think are the obstacles for building this kind of application, so that it's aware of it when building or planning the application. So this is research phase. Then in the plan phase, I want anti-gravity to create a step-by-step execution blueprint. So I'm going to implement this, then this, then this, then this to create your multi-page Streamlit dashboard. And then implement is just like execute the plan, and every time you code something, you add it to a file so you remember it. That way you're able to see a little of the inner workings of what the coding agent is planning, and you can drive it a little by changing the specification. So let's go on research mode first. I am going to copy paste here because there's a lot. And this is where you get into product manager mode. That's my point of view. Let's remove this and let's say, run the following protocol. We're going to run a two-step research phase. Step 1, technical audit, because again, apart from Gemini Markdown, it doesn't remember a lot of what has happened previously in our other Gemini CLI session. So let's tell it to introspect the data in term all.list.db and remember the schemas of each table. And then schema mapping, verify that schema JSON is up to date, etc., etc. Yeah, there's a lot. I will put the prompts in the README of the project if you want to check it out on GitHub. And on phase 2, there's a business intelligence design, because define high-value metrics and visualizations for a business analyst persona. I kind of want to put executive, actually, for an executive. Yeah, business analyst executive. Very important person. So domain 1, orders analysis. So you remember when I wanted to do multi-table analysis for one page for the orders, one page for the customer and reputation, and one page for product performance, for example. In each of those pages, I'm going to tell it to define KPIs and charts every time. 6 KPIs, 3 charts. And finally, at the end of research mode, if you want, you're able to write, as always, all of the findings into Markdown for archiving or for putting on Git. So if you want to consolidate findings into research.md, you can. So let's apply this plan. I do think you don't need Gemini 3 Pro or Opus. You have the choice between Gemini, Cloud, or GPT-OSS. But I think Gemini Flash is good enough for this research phase. And also, it's cheaper. Yeah, this is a big research protocol. It's going to tell me, yes, you can analyze the folder structure. We have a very colorful Git bash window here. I don't know why, but you saw I'm using Windows Terminal and I use CMDER in Windows Terminal, but it doesn't work really well with Antigravity. I would get some problems when running multiple commands at the same time, so I switched to Git bash. So this may happen to you too. UV run script audit DB. Oh, it created a new file. We can go check the file that it created. Okay, actually that's not good. You're supposed to review the code when you have time, but yeah, I trust you. You also get a sense of when a prompt is complex enough that you need to review the code to see if it doesn't introduce additional technical debt. So it's doing stuff. Yes, do your stuff. This is actually where I kind of want to go wash the dishes, because this is going to take some time. That's a long protocol. So, what could we do? I don't know. I have a ukulele if you want. Or I've got this. I got bongos. It's asking me for stuff. Did you finish? It's finished. I was about to play bongos, but we don't have time to play bongos, I guess. The project is now ready for the implementation. I did not tell you to implement anything yet. Now we're getting into planning mode. In planning mode, now that it kind of knows what's the context for the project, we are going to ask it to plan the implementation of the multi-page dashboard. So again, I've got a long prompt. Here's using the findings from the research phase from before, generate a step-by-step implementation plan to build the Streamlit multi-page app. Here's the tech stack, the documentation. You can go and check the documentation. Requirements, architecture, and navigation. This is, oh, I use Context 7, but I think this doesn't work because I don't have an MCP server for Context 7 defined in Antigravity. I will just tell it to fetch the latest documentation on Streamlit multi-page. Create the following pages. I want a data exploration page, orders analysis page, customer and product performance. For each page, I want a title, caption, KPI row, plotly charts, and data preview. And for each page, also define SQL queries, state management, execution order, and provide the markdown checklist, write it to plan MD so that we keep it. Okay, now we are going to plan this. This should not implement anything yet. Now it is going again to plan for a long time, so I guess we have time to play bongos. I don't know how to play bongos. I should learn now. Oh wait, I forgot something. I think it's, yeah, so for planning, we're going to go planning mode and use a stronger model. I think Claude is better right now at reasoning on complex plans, and Gemini for implementing the plan. So let's use Opus 4.5. I think let's try again. Let's revert, undo changes up to this point, and then use planning and Opus actually to do it. Yeah, I'm not very focused right now. I'm using an agent skill here that I will keep for later. Okay, so, oh boy. How are you doing? You're watching code 2. Oh, there you go. I've created the implementation plan. You know, it was fast. So let's see the plan. This is for me, the plan MD, but Antigravity actually manages its own research plan implement phases, and that's the agentic native way of Antigravity to work. So let's check Antigravity's actual implementation plan. I will build a multi-page Streamlit app. So this is the important part for Antigravity, because this is the plan that it is going to implement, but this is also where you can comment on the plan. So if there's something that you don't agree with before implementing, you can put a comment to drive Gemini or Claude to not do it this way. So here I'm happy because it's going to use navigation and page. That's what I asked for. And core architecture, main entry point Streamlit, set page config for global layout. I can agree or disagree right now. Yeah, okay, I agree. SD cache resource, yeah, that's your problem. Apps, yeah, I'm happy. Database Explorer. Okay, orders analysis. So it shows KPIs here. If you want to, you can comment to choose other KPIs. Like for example, I do geographic density. Kind of don't care about this. So maybe instead of geographic density, let's do, wait, most negative customers. Let's do by average score review. There you go. Let's do 10 most negative customers. And there you go. So now I added a comment in the plan to tell you that on this chart here for customer reputation, the geographic density, I don't like this. So I invite you to do something else. And in the review phase, you can also add a global message. If you want to say looks good to me, for example, this is how it understands that I agree with the plan and that it can go into implementation. But right now, I'm not happy. There's one comment that I want to edit. It can see it, and it's going back to planning mode to update the plan. And while it's updating, you land the plan. Now it's updated, top 10 negative customers, okay, accept all, and now we can say looks good to me. So it's going to enter execution mode. I think I still have enough Claude credits to let Claude Code instead of Gemini Free Pro, but let's use Free Pro to do this high. Just so I can show you that you can use multiple models for different phases. You can also do it in Gemini CLI, by the way. There's a command that is called /models that prompts you to choose a model for the next prompts. I think it's for the next prompt. So you can switch models whenever you need. So now it's going into implementation mode, phase 1, core setup. But then now it's going to work. And this is the moment where everyone go wash dishes or sleep. As long as your prompt and your specifications are good enough, you are good to go. And okay, let me also tell you this. I started doing Antigravity, and then I installed Gemini CLI after using Antigravity. And I kind of learned to use this process in Gemini CLI. So I would research and plan in Gemini CLI and tell it to, just like when we store the JSON schemas, the table schemas in Ref, I also store the plan in Markdown as Markdown in a folder, and I destroy the conversation history, make it read the plan, and make it execute the plan. You can do whatever you want with Markdown. As long as you can write and read from Markdown on the file system, you can do anything. I think some people actually even put their plan, execution plan, on GitHub. So they have GitHub issues. They have their agent download the GitHub issue. They have a tool for this. Create a plan, push the plan to the GitHub issue, and then implement the code while you are sleeping, and then push back the code. They close the issue and they go to the next GitHub issue. This is also something that you can do with Gemini CLI or Claude Code or Codex. This is all while you are sleeping. And the thing is that a lot of people are raving about this on Twitter and LinkedIn, but this is not a skill that is easy to train. You actually need to go and understand how to specify and how to build those plans for the LLM to correctly implement them. Oh, one last thing about Antigravity. Antigravity has got this agent on the right and the code on the left. And I mean, I can go see audit.db. You can see the apps that it's currently editing. And it also has a browser preview. Here, UV run, I do want to reject this. So it finished building the app. If I go, let me show you. If we remove this and we reload, I think I already reloaded the app. So there we go, new app with all of the KPIs. Woo! Customer reputation, there you go. Lowest impact of delivery on satisfaction. Ooh, problem. Ooh, problem. Oh, problem. This is perfect. We'll see if Antigravity is able to use the Chrome extension to see that there's a problem on the third page, get the logs, and edit the code by itself. So here I am going to reject this and tell it Streamlit app is already running. Check HTTP localhost 8501. Also, it seems, now let's see if it detects it. So Streamlit app is running, verifying the implementation. Now it's going to open the browser sub-agent. Where is it? Launching browser. Let me show you because this is fun. There you go. This is Antigravity opening the Streamlit app and playing with it by itself to check that everything is working. So it's going to scroll, it's going to try and click on some links, it's going to try and hover over elements or charts to see if everything is working. There you go. This is the blue dot. This is not me. This is Antigravity doing it. So this is like really fun. In Gemini CLI, you could actually kind of do it. There's an extension called Chrome DevTools. Oh, there we go. Chrome DevTools. Anyway, right now it's on the page with a problem. You can see there's a lot of red. So hopefully it picks that that's a problem. It's not going to pick it now because first it screenshots the UI and then it analyzes the screenshots to see if there's a problem. And I think there's also a recording mode where it scrolls and records the screen while recording to see if there's a problem while scrolling. When I was building my landing page, I could tell it through the recording that, do you see this button? It is not aligned with this other button, you see it in the recording, go edit the code of the correct button by yourself. And it was able to do it. Let's see what is happening. It's still playing with the table drop down. I think it's, yeah, it's playing with the database explorer right now, selecting different tables and selecting cells in the table. But yeah, okay, have fun, have fun. Extracting DOM elements, etc. Oh, there you go. I think it sees the error. See product performance, there's a fail. Error encountered. It detected the error, query failed, binder error, ambiguous, reference to column name. It detected and parsed the error, and now the join statement, you know, there's probably an order ID on the orders table and the products table, and there's no prefix to identify both of those, so it should edit it by itself. Okay, I think it edited the code. Let's check it out here. And there you go. Woo! Works now. Product, customer, and orders analysis. I did not do anything. I'm pretty happy. Show data preview. Oh, I didn't think about putting it in an expander. Nice. And all I did was put spec in anti-gravity. I did not code a single line of Python. This is crazy. So that's what I call the implementation plan, but what anti-gravity calls the walkthrough plan, which is, okay, this is all the things I did, blah, blah, blah. And I think there should be, in the artifacts, there's also screenshots that it took from the browser extension. Here, there's one that didn't work. That's too bad. No. And then now, because this is still an agent, it's like Gemini CLI. You can still ask it to add something to a page, and it's going to add it to the page. You can still interact with your Streamlit app that is running in real time through the agent. If there is a chart that you don't like or want to change the colors, you can prompt it again here, and it's going to do it. And because there's a Chrome extension, you can even tell it, I don't like how this unit here is items in the screenshot. Can you edit this? And it will find the line and edit it for you. I'm pretty happy with what it did. So I'm going to commit this, all of this. Oh wait, I'm going to tell it to write walk through into implementation MD. Wait, I don't know how to write. Walk through into implementation MD. And yeah, there you go. There you go. Let's move those into ref, and we can save everything. Streamlit, yeah, database explorer. Okay, we commit an anti-gravity commit. We put all of the changes and we commit, and now we push this to GitHub, and there you go. This is me after 2 weeks of Gemini CLI and Antigravity, and there's still a lot of things I wanted to show you, but it's been an hour and 30 minutes. I kind of need my my break, so I will present them to you next time. But I do want to talk about them a little. For example, all of those prompts for the research and plan and implementation, those are long prompts that I copied from templates from what we call spec-driven libraries. So there's like open code, spec kit, or conductor. There are libraries that put in place a process where you build specifications together with the library. Like, I want 3 pages with 3 charts and 12 KPIs for this user intent and for this target audience, and with those user stories of when I click on this button, then this should happen. There's whole libraries for managing spec and then building the code from those specs. And the better those specs are written, the faster and the better the code written by the agent is. There are full libraries for this. So you can do it by hand, like I did just here, or you can use those libraries to do it. I like Conductor. It's a Gemini extension. It works well. I think maybe I have, let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so here is one. I got this. I got an extract of data from Spotify, and I want to use OpenSpec to define the specs, just like in Antigravity, but from command line. So the specs, for example, here I wanted to build my top 10 most frequently listened to tracks. So all of this: change proposal, summary, motivation, implementation details, data loading, and etc. This is all done through a questionnaire that the library gives you. I can show you a demo later if you want to. Another part I've tried and I really like is in my Streamlit or list database. You remember I defined my orders analysis. I said I wanted this chart, I wanted this target audience to be executives, and I wanted to have this kind of charts about product reviews, if I remember correctly. But I prompted everything. And this is a prompt I want to reuse regularly to build more and more different charts. So what I did instead is I built a custom command for it. Using a custom command, let me show you one. Back to my Gemini CLI, I added an add plot custom command. So what it does is it creates a questionnaire for you to enter, and then it's going to create the plotly charts inside the Streamlit app. So let's add a plot. So here you go. To ensure the new plot delivers maximum value, please answer the following questions. What entity are we analyzing? Reviews. I like analyzing reviews. Who is the target audience? Let's say business managers. And then what is the desired trend or anomaly? Let's say negative reviews. And what is the desired level of detail? I want top 10 aggregations, summaries. There you go. And then using the answer to this questionnaire, it is going to suggest me with a lot of plots and ask me for my favorite plots. Based on your focus on reviews, here are 4 plot concepts. So option A, problem areas. Identify which product categories are generating the highest number of complaints. 10 worst performing categories, highest percentage of negative reviews. Logistics, delivery delay impact. Top 10 categories by negative review count versus delivery time. I like this because if we want to see if there's kind of a small correlation between delivery time and review, because I mean, if I'm delivered on the 26th of December instead of 20, I missed Christmas and I'll be very mad. So I actually like the option C here. So let's say I want option C. Now I don't remember where it stores the plotly chart. Oh, it's going to put it in customer reputation, I think. So let's go to customers and I will show you the app. Wait, I can show you now. It's going to be edited at the same time. There we go. And if we go to customer reputation, right now we're seeing this. And now allow adding the chart, and it should add a new chart. Here we go. Delivery delay impact, top 10 categories by negative review. And now you can, using this custom command, I can add plots one by one depending on my intent. And this is how you can do data analysis by chatting with your data. Very cool. You can customize your workflow with Gemini CLI or Antigravity using custom commands. You can also use what we call agent skills that enables the agent to pick up new skills during the implementation or planning or thinking phase of its chat. In Antigravity, this is very new. I added Streamlit skills. So here is Arnaud, data scientist at Snowflake in the Streamlit team, just released this skill, this Streamlit skill. So this is a skill for building Streamlit application following best practices. So whenever the agent sees that it has to build a Streamlit app, it is going to load this skill inside its conversation history and use it to refine its Streamlit app. So you'll get the app structure, session state, maybe there's navigation actually. There's layout, button, forms and references. Okay, there's no navigation, but see, if I wanted to put more Streamlit best practices that then the agent can use whenever it's planning or thinking about Streamlit, and you can put everything in this agent skills MD. And as always, there's a lot of skills on the internet, on UI, on design, on reading. It's like the new template. I could sell my Streamlit skills, those files, those markdown files, for 25 euros because here I would put my 5 years of Streamlit best practices into this markdown and ask you to subscribe to my newsletter to get this skill. In 2 weeks of Gemini CLI and Antigravity, I have realized so many ideas similar to this one. I've built, instead of in a week, I built a Streamlit plus Polars user journey with a graph in 2 days, and I even added an interactive React Flow application. I scrapped data from my Git workflow into static HTML. Oh, let me show you this. This is fun. It looks like this. So my Gemini CLI reads all of my Git repos for the past 6 months and then tells me what I worked on. I rebuilt my landing page in Next. I repaired some of my newsletter stuff, SEO things on Cloudflare. Oh, I even linked to Salesforce. But anyway, there's a lot of ideas that I was too lazy to do in 2 days because I needed to read the documentation and write Python code, and now I can just delegate this burden to my AI digital intern assistant. Sometimes it makes errors and I just criticize on the code and then it gets a little better. As a data scientist, as a business analyst, as a tech lead, as a manager, the role of AI is to assist you in exploring new ideas and bring your creativity out and align politics and people around the same vision, same idea. We don't really care about reproducing this same ChatCI dashboard, beautiful dashboard. We know nobody cares about this. So if you haven't tried Claude Code, Codex, Gemini CLI because it's command line and it makes you scared, or if you are disappointed like me, I was disappointed by Gemini Code Assist and those GenAI auto-completion tools, then you should try again. The ecosystem has moved so much, and I do want to make more of those agentic Streamlit data exploration videos because there's a lot more you can do with it. So I'll see you around, data fan. Bye!